All right, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to episode number 12 of the Altered States Unplugged podcast. My name is Kyle Strubing. I am here with one half of this dynamic duo. The other half is my lovely wife partner, Jojo Strubing. Jojo, baby, how we doing this morning?
We are good. Today's episode is one that I'm excited to talk about. We are diving into manifestation and visualization, how to harness your mind in the float tank. Right. So hang with us here. I know for some of you, this might seem a little out there, a little woo-woo, but this is something, if you've ever been inside of our studio, you know that we talk about this a lot because it's really powerful. It's being used more and more in, sports and the professional world and just in people's everyday lives. And it can be a really powerful way to just kind of reach your goals. So consider this your goal setting episode and how to really kind of master those things.
Yeah.
Right?
So these are one of the most, these are some of the advanced float techniques that we preach and teach. And you can do this outside of the float tank. Personally, I find it to be easier in the float tank because there's just less distractions. But this is a really powerful tool that we consistently preach. We always talk about how I've come across a bunch of athletes like JoJo's referenced and all the sports psychology guys. They talk about, the visualization and manifestation. And I'm sure we'll break down kind of the overall process of that. But they talk about scoring touchdowns and stuff like that, right? Or hitting the big 3-pointer. And I always say, and I was like, well, I don't play football anymore. He goes, well, whatever that touchdown is for you in your life, Kyle. And it was just a really powerful thing. And now we use this all the time. It's just really helped me gain more confidence going into stressful situations.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. If you've got like an important talk coming up, a big decision to make, right, a presentation at work, all of those things, you can use these techniques for it. So we're going to break them down. In this episode, we're going to go over, what manifestation and visualization is. We'll talk a little bit about the science behind it so you understand why it works so well. And then we're going to share with you how you can do this and use these techniques in the float tank. So the next time you're in the float tank, you can try them out.
Yeah. It'll just really give you that next level float for sure. So let's dive right in. Jojo, what is manifestation?
All right. So definition here is manifestation is the process of bringing something into your life through belief and intention. It's based on the idea that your thoughts and emotions shape your reality. And I think the really important word here is like your intention. What is your intention and how do you focus those thoughts to begin to shape your reality? And you hear this more and more, and I see it in my life more and more when I just all of a sudden start focusing all my attention like towards that one thing, that one goal, or that one, vision that I have. Everything starts naturally moving towards it, right? Mm-hmm. Your energy, you start thinking about it all the time. You start moving in that direction physically, and it all starts to come together. And this is really just helping you focus more on what that vision is, right?
Right. Exactly. So an example of this is we really manifested the success of Altered States Wellness. And we did that by setting clear intentions and consistently putting energy towards that vision.
Yeah.
Which was super, super powerful.
Yeah.
I feel like we already have it.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you've already been there.
Yeah.
And it's something, it makes it visceral for you. It makes it in your face and it makes it real. As opposed to, I just want to have success or whatever. I was like, no, like how do we go about doing this?
What does that look like for you?
Exactly.
I think, we say we float about it all the time and we're going to get to that here in a minute. But like what we mean by that is like we go and we envision ourselves doing it. We like look at what is that going to look like? How, what are the steps it's going to take to get there? And really taking the time to do that and not just start moving towards a vision that you don't fully comprehend, right? It's powerful.
It is. And it's not just woo-woo, right? So Cal Berkeley did some studies that found that people who actively set goals and intention are 42% more likely to achieve them. That's a big number, right? Yeah. And they sit there and any business coach or anything like that will always tell you, well, if you're not setting goals, you're just going through life. How the hell do you plan on getting to where you're trying to go, right? It was, I just want to be successful. Well, how the hell are we going to do that,
Yeah.
And this really helps it, and the float tank is just a perfect opportunity for it.
It's perfect. It's like they were made for each other.
Right.
Manifestation and floating. I mean, yes. But the key really to manifestation is your focus. Where are you focusing your energy? So when you channel all that energy and your intention into that one specific goal, that's when you really align your actions and are able to make decisions and take those actions to make it happen.
Right. And one thing I will say is regarding floating, like post float buzz, it's always nice to kind of journal some things too, because that'll kind of, I don't know if we talk about this later, but that'll kind of tie it all together.
Yeah, enhance that.
Yeah,
what did I just think about? What
Right.
was I looking at? Yeah.
What were some of the things? And keep in mind, especially at our float spot, right? It's nothing but positive vibes in there too. So keep that in mind. Like as you're going through, nothing's going to deviate you from that. Keep that single track mind of success, of no failure, none of that. All of that is pushed to the side, and we're manifesting this. We're making this happen.
Right.
And it's a really important tool, and it's really powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's manifestation. You're really manifesting something. You're trying to bring it to reality by, setting that focus and that intention on it. Let's pivot to visualization,
Yes.
which is more of the act. Talk about the definition of that.
So the definition is, it's the practice of mentally rehearsing a goal or outcome. You create a detailed mental picture of success before it happens. That way it's stuck and it's burned in your brain, I would say. It's like I said, super powerful.
Yeah. So this is exactly what we were talking about earlier when we said, athletes will come in and they literally visualize themselves.
Right.
And I think the more specific you can get here, the better, right?
Yes.
You talk about this a lot.
Yes. The more specific you get, we've had like position teams, or team position groups, like the wide receiver group or the linebacker group will come in and they'll even like rehearse their plays in the float tank. Like you're like, what? I mean, we're talking to that level of detail. Visualize the ball coming in, you with the laces spinning and the lines coming up and you jumping up, catching it, tucking, turning up field. Stadium goes crazy.
Yeah.
Whatever that is for you in your life. And
Yeah.
that was super powerful
What's your
for
touchdown
me.
moment?
What
I
is
love
your
that.
touchdown?
Yeah.
What is your touchdown?
Yeah.
Like that doctor said to me.
Yeah.
What's your touchdown?
And I love it. I mean, you were talking to a customer the other day about, they had an upcoming presentation and they were talking and you were telling them to use this technique and really visualize like down to the grains in the carpet.
Right.
Like, what does that look like? Standing there confidently, you taking a deep breath before you start your talk. I mean, those little things, if you visualize, like it's amazing that when you get to those situations, your body almost feels like it's been there before because you've already visualized yourself doing it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then some of the science on this, they published a study out of Psychology Today, and researchers did find that mental imagery can improve performance up to 20%. Who wouldn't want to see an increased performance of 20%? Geez, 2% is great. 20 is even better. What it does is it activates the same parts of your brain that are used in the actual physical movement. So that helps you prepare your body and mind for success then. So it's like a dress rehearsal in your head.
Well, I remember when I grew up dancing and I would lay there in bed and doing the routines all night, visually practicing it. And it was almost, as good as actually physically doing it because the next day I was like, boom, I had it down. And, but just thinking about those things ahead of time, it's amazing when you're in the moment, how much more at ease you can be. Like, I like to do this when I have even just a difficult decision, like thinking about what am I going to say? How am I going to, come to this conversation and what, how do I want it to go as best as I can envision.
Well, we only focus, and I tell people in the store this all the time, if you get anxiety because you're only focused on one of a potential million possible outcomes, right? It's like, yes, I could totally fall on my face. We could be homeless, put that out of your mind and just focus on that. There's nothing but the positive vibes. And that gives me strength knowing that, right? So I'm not even worried about the negatives you're able to really just push through and nail that.
Yeah.
The biggest reason why this works, they say, is that because your brain can't tell the difference, right? It doesn't know between imagined and real events. Your brain has no idea. So it's really powerful to train those neurons and everything that you've essentially been there. And you're really training your brain and your body that this success is real, right? And then it can strengthen your focus and your resolve and confidence in achieving that.
Mm.
So it's really, really powerful.
Have you tried visualizing that we've won the lottery yet?
Yeah.
Because, I don't know.
No,
No.
I'm more of, I think you got to be in it to win it, right? I feel like, yeah.
I love it.
Not so much.
No, this is such a powerful tool. It's something we've always done, even before we even started researching this stuff and knew what it was that we were doing. We just knew it was working when we were in the float tanks. And but when you put yourself in that environment in the float tank, which is a space with where you can control the light and the sound and no distractions around you, your body can truly focus on this visualization practice and truly manifest these goals. So let's talk a little bit about how to specifically use manifestation and visualization in the float tank. I know you walk people through this when they come in to float. So talk a little bit about this.
Yeah. So first, and I think we touched on this on kind of the next level floating things, right? You want to relax your body, relax your mind, and then you can start working on the astral projecting and stuff like that. And a lot of this visualization, I always talk about going into a positive memory, more positivity. You're creating a visual to a positive emotion, and that really can help start. So starting off there is always fantastic. But before like a lot of this, it starts before you even get in the tank, right? Set intention. What are we trying to get out of this? Right? Do we want to just relax? Do we want to blank out? And then I think even if you're trying to blank out, it's good to kind of deal with some of this stuff in the beginning of the float anyways, because it just lends to a deeper float. But you really want to define what you're manifesting. You really want to figure that out before, because then that way it'll just keep you more lined in, right? Whether it be personal growth, health, career success, whatever that is. For us, it's tough meetings. I do it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, big or small. I mean, sometimes for me, it can be just like I'm stuck on something small, like a really tiny decision, but I just don't have any space to think about it. And then I get in there and I'm like, whoa, it all just comes to me,
Right.
because I'm finally letting myself disconnect. And I mean, it's incredible the ideas and creative thoughts that suddenly come to me and the answers to questions when I'm
Right.
in the float tank, because my mind isn't thinking about, oh gosh, who do I need to call? Oh no, there's an email sitting there. Oh, the dog's running around outside going crazy. Like
Right.
I'm there and I can truly focus inward, and I'm just, it's the key.
It's the key, yeah.
Key to
It's the
success.
key to success. That's right. The next best step after you've kind of set that intention is to just kind of start visualizing, right? Once you're floating, you want to start your visualization practice. Close your eyes, vividly picture that goal. The environment should allow your brain, as you peel back those layers of senses, once again, alpha, beta, theta, delta, get you in that theta, which is what we're going for. We won't do delta because it's not full on REM, but it gets you in that theta so that you can go ahead and manifest this stuff a lot better. And it'll keep you in that deep meditation. And then also pivot to creativity too. So some things will start to come to you as well.
Solutions.
Exactly. And hey, maybe this isn't as bad or whatever. And it really helps that. I like to start my visualization, like I said before, with that positive memory. I do, because it's a very vivid visual that I have associated with just a positive emotion. That's typically, and then I'll kind of pivot and run into some more specifics. I got to speak or I got to do whatever. And then I'll kind of go through there, but I'll work my way into it, right? Get your body relaxed and then work on your mind.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just trying to manifest like good health, really thinking about what does that good health look like
Right.
for you? Is it you waking up early and eating a healthy breakfast, going on a walk, like envisioning yourself doing those acts, they come more naturally. So these don't have to be these big grandiose events. It can be like small everyday activities that you're visualizing yourself doing.
Sure. And then the third which is super important and which is great in the float tank because you're now getting rid of all the senses, is to, when you're doing the visualization, use those senses, right? Like the football player said, smell that grass, see the lights, hear the cheerleaders on the sideline. To that, it just creates that much more of a depth,
Yeah.
which makes it realer to your mind, and your mind and body can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
So it just really gives more authenticity to the experience as a whole.
Whenever I'm just trying to really like reel myself in and relax and kind of get rid of some anxiety, I always imagine myself in my favorite space on this earth, which is this lake in Colorado. I imagine, the birds around me, what I'm listening to, the sand underneath my feet, like all of those little things. And it's amazing how when you start imagining those senses, it brings this calmness to you because your body almost can start recognizing it. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's back to those memories. Like you're starting from a physical place that has already a ton of positive vibes, and it really helps because the last thing you want to do is divert towards something negative, right? For sure.
Affirmations is a great one. This one, research shows that kind of that repetitive speech or thoughts can boost, your self-esteem or helping you reduce stress. So something simple like, I'm going to achieve this goal, and just like reinforcing that, or, this is going to go smoothly, or I am confident, I am capable. Just those little things, telling yourself those positive thoughts and reinforcements can make it that much powerful.
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And gosh darn it, people like me. Right. That's an old school reference for sure. But no, it's good. Right. And I'm a big fan. I'm not, my self-talk is a little bit different. I would say it's probably more harsh, but I'm always, in with the good, out with the bad, in with the good, out with the bad, and even when you're visualizing, like, let's say you have an issue in your shoulder or something like that, you can even sit there in the tank and do it physically and just, as you breathe in, hey, we're coming in with the positivity, with the healing, and then we're pushing out into the tank the inflammation or the pain or whatever. And that can really, really help.
I like that. And then this final one here is just let go and trust it, let go of that outcome, like you were saying, and really just, trust that this visualization is going to happen. Trust that you are going to manifest this. Don't hold on to those negative thoughts and those, try to release all those anxieties and fears that you have about the situation is big. Right.
And then just kind of a final thought on the manifestation and visualization is I always, take it a step back and then push it a step further. What does, as I do this meeting well, yes, I closed the guy. Yay, cool. I got another number in my checking account. But what does that mean for you? What does that mean for your family? Is that, more free time? Is that whatever? So put it when you're having these, as you're visualizing a tough situation, you don't just want to do it and get it over with. But what does that truly mean for you?
What's the why?
What's the why?
Yeah.
More time for us on that beach at the lake in Colorado with you and rocks and the dog, the whole thing. That's very important too, because then you see that end goal and it feels tangible.
Right.
Not just, hey, I got to get through this, but push it through all the way to the end.
Yeah. Your goal isn't just, to have wild success and earn a lot of money. It's truly because you want that security for your family, because you want your family to go on a vacation or whatever that might be. Like thinking about those deeper things. I love that.
Yes. Whether it be material or, not material, right?
Yeah.
For lack of a better word. But no. So today we went through manifestation, visualization, how it was backed by science, and how the float tank can create that ideal environment for both places.
Perfect environment.
Perfect.
I mean, there's no better space.
I can't meditate anywhere outside of the float tank. It's totally ruined me.
Yeah.
It's totally ruined me. So the float tank is the absolute perfect setting to do this for sure. So
yeah. If you haven't floated yet, get inside of the float tanks.
What are you waiting for?
And go practice this technique. If you have floated, the next time you're in the float tank, try this out. Try, manifesting, setting that intention, and really using visualization, and see how it impacts your, next decision, your next big goal that you have coming up. It's pretty powerful. It's pretty amazing. It's something we do regularly. We go float about it, we go visualize it, and it's amazing how powerful this practice truly is. If you need to learn more about float therapy, we've got some incredible episodes. So go check out our previous episodes. We've got lots of tips for your first session and how to get the most out of float therapy, as well as advanced techniques that you can listen into as well.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks, guys. See you in the next episode.